Live from Arkansas's breaking news leader, Fox 16 News at 5:30 starts now.
We are following breaking news on multiple fronts in Arkansas today. An investigation underway in northeast Arkansas after a former state lawmaker is found dead.
And water levels starting to reach their highest peak along the riverbank as flooding remains a massive problem statewide.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for Fox 16 News at 5:30. I'm Donna Terrell.
I'm Kevin Kelly. There is some good news this afternoon here in central Arkansas. The river has reached its crest stage in Little Rock. We'll have a live report along the riverbanks for you in just a few minutes.
But first, with so many people affected by this ongoing flooding disaster, now is the time to call and donate. Fox 16 has partnered with the American Red Cross and our sister station, KARK, to help people most affected by the flooding.
And as you can see, Governor Asa Hutchinson manning the phones, helping out for this important cause. So please call the number on your screen to make your pledge. Volunteers will be here throughout the remainder of this newscast. We'll have a live interview with the governor a little bit later. But again, make that donation and we'll be here all evening long.
And we go now to breaking news update. This is out of northeast Arkansas, where state police are now investigating the death of former state senator Linda Collins Smith as a homicide.
Authorities found the body Tuesday night just outside of her home in Pocahontas. Fox 16's Tyler Thomason in Randolph County with the latest on the investigation and reaction to the news.
When the former senator was found outside her Pocahontas home, authorities say she was unrecognizable. Less than 24 hours later, a judge sealed all documents pertaining to the case, and detectives remain tight-lipped about the ongoing investigation. Crime scene tape covers every corner of Linda Collins Smith's home Wednesday, outlining the beginning stages of a murder investigation. Police say a woman was found dead outside the home Tuesday.
The Randolph County Sheriff's Office responded to the scene at around 5:45 p.m. Condition of the body prevented any immediate positive identification.
Authorities have stopped short of confirming whether the victim is the former state senator, but sources say it was her, indicating she was found shot to death. As far as what happened, investigators haven't said much else and don't plan to anytime soon.
3rd Judicial District Circuit Judge Harold Irwin has issued an order sealing the documents and statements ordered or obtained by the police during this investigation.
Court documents reveal the former senator was in the process of divorcing her husband, retired Judge Philip Smith. A hearing in that case was scheduled later this month, and according to documented testimony, the couple were at odds over money after selling a local hotel for more than $1 million. The ex-lawmaker's former spokesperson tells us the divorce, quote, was not pleasant. He also says Collins Smith remained active on social media, but appeared to go silent more than a week ago. An old campaign sign sits just beyond the police tape, marking a time when constituents looked to Linda for answers. Now they look elsewhere for answers in her death. We tried speaking with neighbors who live near the former senator's home. No one wanted to talk about what happened on Tuesday. The sheriff says state police are leading this homicide investigation. In Pocahontas, I'm Tyler Thomason. Back to you.
All right, Tyler, thank you very much. Meanwhile, part of a levee in Faulkner County is damaged from the unprecedented amount of water in the Arkansas River. While county officials say it's not a risk of breaching, they're not taking any chances. Fox 16's Rebecca Jeffrey live near the levee with an exclusive look at what they're doing to protect that area. Rebecca.
Hey, good evening, Kevin. Well, earlier today, 2 Black Hawk helicopters were flying overhead, heading to the Lolly Levee behind me, working to reinforce it. Now, we're told by officials that this is a very low-lying area. There's an airport beyond me and quite a bit of farmland. But since it is so flat, if this levee were to breach, neighborhoods miles away would be impacted. Some jobs are just too big to go small. Faulkner County enlisting the help of the Arkansas National Guard to strengthen a damaged levee. Taking turns, Black Hawk helicopters are hooked to sandbags weighing thousands of pounds and flown to the Lolly Levee to fortify an area critical to keeping Conway safe.
There's a small slough on the wet side of the levee, and where some dirt has washed off, and that's why we're bringing in the helicopters and such to fix that.
County official David Hogue shows us in photos he took earlier where about 10% of the levee is compromised. They brought in about 165 super sandbags to help fill it back up.
And we're just trying to make it so that it's not digging into the levee any more than it is.
Because if it does and the levee breaches, it wouldn't just impact the nearby farmland.
But it would follow all the low-lying areas and could get as far into West Conway. As in residential areas.
That's worst case scenario, and the reason why they're going to such levels to ensure the levee stays strong, even if it is just for a little while longer.
At this point, the good news is the river, which is on the other side of that levee now, is falling, and so this operation should be finished soon.
It's all in a day's work to avoid a potential disaster during an already historic season. Faulkner County officials are keeping an eye on this levee for the time being. Here on Lolly Road, it is closed to folks who are driving through just to make sure that if something were to breach here, that everyone would be protected and aware. They say that now they can turn their focus over to Lake Conway, where Mayflower homeowners have thought that they were in the clear, but they've been watching quite a few changes happening in their area. That's where we find our Hillary Hunt with the very latest. Hillary.
A lot of changes out here, Rebecca, actually within the last hour. Highway 89, part of it closed down because of the floodwaters. Take a look at this. We have been out here all day, and this water has easily risen about a foot. And this, you may think this is where you would put a boat in. This is actually a street that leads to homes that is completely underwater, undrivable at this time. Now, we went across the lake earlier today here in Lake Conway, and we spoke to some homeowners who you could see floodwaters, debris in their yard, things like that. A lot of them just hustling to get sandbags in place because their biggest concern is what is going to happen in the coming days.
So we're just praying that they're right, and praying that God will hold the rain off, and just hoping for the best and praying for the best, you know.
Every single homeowner telling me they hope no rain is coming. They're also asking drivers, if you are driving through floodwaters, to please slow down, because they say that the waves that you're creating driving through it fast is hitting up on their house and creating more damage. Now, I have been told that people who are in those flood-prone areas have been advised, if you can, to get out if you're afraid those floodwaters are going to come up high. And as you can see, the home right here, these people getting ready and prepared for the possibility of this water rising. And they told me that if they need to, they're going to leave and get out to protect themselves. Live in Faulkner County, I'm Hillary Hunt. Kevin and Donna, let's send it back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Hillary. And meanwhile, something none of us want to hear, but we're looking at the potential for rain in the area this evening. Yeah,
we want to check in with Chief Meteorologist Jeff Baskin with a first look at what we can expect tonight. Hopefully not a lot.
We are talking about some showers and thunderstorms. Now, the rain that we have across parts of Arkansas is not going to have a big impact on the Arkansas River itself. But, and this is a big but, areas that normally drain into the Arkansas River are much more prone to flash flooding, and that could make things worse in a hurry. Now, as we take a look at the river levels, Dardanelle, the river is falling pretty quickly now, down about almost 2 feet since yesterday. Morrilton also falling. Toadsuck, the river has crested. It stayed pretty steady and actually leveled off and come down a little bit over the last 12 hours. Little Rock, the river has crested, has not gone any higher during the day today, and will likely stay steady and then begin a low fall by late tomorrow. However, Pine Bluff, we're looking at another 8-inch rise through late tomorrow into Friday. Pendleton, the crest has now been, forecast crest now has been increased, an additional foot rise expected. The crest pushed back until Sunday. So to take a look at the showers and thunderstorms that we have around today, some scattered showers and thunderstorms, especially across parts of west central Arkansas, around Hot Springs, over towards Mount Ida. Some heavier rain around Danville, over towards the Russellville area, where we've had a 1 to locally as much as 3 inches of rain in some spots. We'll take a look at that forecast, show you when we dry out coming coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Jeff, thank you very much. Meanwhile, here in the Little Rock area, we've been waiting all week for the river to crest. As of this morning, the water has finally stopped rising. Fox 16's Haley Brooks live along the river with an update. Haley, how's it look at this hour?
It's looking really flooded right now. I'm standing right in front of Junction Bridge, and this bridge has tracked a lot of miles today. There's been a lot of people coming to see what's going on. Now, I do have a little bit of a warning for you guys, is be really careful when you're walking along here. There's also a lot of animals getting displaced. We've seen a lot of rabbits, and of course, we see a nice big snake here just trying to stay dry. And there was people walking down in this area by the water, so just be really, really careful when you're over here. Obviously, that snake blends in quite a bit. All right, that's my spiel. So now let's talk more about flooding. I want to point out this fence that's over here. It's about a 5, maybe 6 foot fence, and you can just barely see it peeking at the top. So that just gives you a good idea of how steep this hill is right here, and that there's just a huge drop off with the water. Now, the National Weather Service says today the river has crested at 29.7 feet. But just because the river has crested doesn't mean we're done with the flooding. It just means we're in the middle of it. By this time next Wednesday, the river will be down to 27.5 feet, according to the National Weather Service. But at that time, we will still be in a major flood stage. So everything upstream of us has already crested, and the water is slowly receding, so it will eventually make its way down here. It may just take a little bit of time. So reporting live in Little Rock, I'm Haley Brooks. Back to you.
Wow.
It is such a long, slow process.
Well, yeah, and there's really no timeline. There's no way to predict how long it's going to take to recede. And then again, as for the recovery efforts, who knows?
The cleanup is going to be a lot.
Yeah. Well, as we wait for the floodwaters to go down across the area, stay with Fox 16 News for the latest on conditions, evacuations, road closures, and a whole lot more.
And you will find complete coverage on the air and online, of course, at FOX16.com. And for the next several hours, these volunteers, including the governor of our fine state, will be here manning the phones, waiting to take your donations to help people who've been most affected by this disaster.
So if you can, please call the number on your screen, 501-340-4922. And you can also donate online at fox16.com. So if you can, make that phone call and help our neighbors.
People are calling. Thank you.
Coming up, a Democratic candidate for president makes his way to Arkansas.
Hear the message Senator Bernie Sanders had for Walmart at the start of the company's annual shareholders meeting.
Fox 16 News at 5:30, covering Benton, Cabot, Little Rock, and all of Central Arkansas.
Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders today became the first 2020 Democratic presidential candidate to visit Arkansas. Senator Sanders took his campaign against income inequality directly to Walmart, the world's largest private employer. Sanders was given 3 minutes to speak during the Walmart shareholders meeting at the invitation of a Walmart shareholder and a workers' rights organization. He spoke on behalf of a proposal to give hourly employees seats on Walmart's board of directors.
I'm asking Walmart, the employees are asking Walmart, pay the workers there a living wage. You don't get rich on $15 an hour, that's for sure. But at the very least, you could live with some security and dignity.
Sanders has targeted Walmart and the Walton family for years, long before he ran for president. The proposal Sanders advocated for was voted down this afternoon.
Now, weather to plan your day with Fox 16 Chief Meteorologist Jeff Baskin.
A little good news on the Arkansas River, especially upstream from central Arkansas, where around Dardanelle, the river is actually falling faster now, down to 41 feet. So it's dropped several feet now since its crest over the weekend, and will continue to slowly drop as we go through the later in the week and into the weekend. Now, as we take a look downstream over towards Morrilton, the river has been falling, but will remain in major flood stage through the end of the week. Around Toadsuck, we've crested, but not really a whole lot lot of fall yet. Still just staying steady, but not expecting much in the way of any additional rise. So that's good. At least it's not getting that much worse. And around Little Rock, we have crested, although the river has not really started to fall yet, but we got up to about 29.71 feet, now down to 29.58, so not much of a drop there, but not expecting an additional rise. Now, some areas, backwater flooding may actually continue to get worse for a little while, especially up around Lake Conway, where we still have water flowing into the lake from the very high Arkansas River. So some areas, again, you still could see some water rise, but the river level itself has stabilized. Now, as we take a look downstream into Pine Bluff, the river's still coming up. Now the crest is up to 51 feet. Actually, it's now been increased to 51.5 feet. So that's been brought up a little bit. And around Pendleton, the crest has been pushed up to 38 feet. So about another 1 foot rise. And that river in Pendleton, the lower Arkansas River, is going to stay in flood stage likely for several weeks. After this, going to be very slow to drop because the Mississippi is very high, and that's going to slow down the draining of the Arkansas into the Mississippi. Now, tonight we do have some showers and thunderstorms, especially across parts of west central Arkansas. Not too much around Little Rock metro area, but notice around Hot Springs over towards Mount Ida, Royal, you're getting some showers. Nothing real heavy there, but some heavier downpours now across parts of Yell County, just south of Danville, where we had some fairly heavy rain and downpours just a little while ago, and that's why flash flood warnings are in effect for, say, the Danville area, just on the south side of the river through parts of Logan County, where we've had 1 to as much as locally 3 inches of rain, and still some rain in some of those areas in the flash flood warning. Now, as we go through the evening hours, some of those showers will continue, but diminish later on tonight. Area of tropical moisture, tropical disturbance now moving along the Gulf Coast, but this is moving a little bit farther south. That's good for us. That'll reduce our rainfall potential a little bit, but not that much. The reason why, we have yet another upper air system that's coming from the west, and that's going to keep things rather wet and unsettled through the end of the week. Right now, Crane Current Conditions camera showing some clouds and a few showers, especially off to our west, where temperatures are a bit cooler thanks to the rain in the 70s. Where it hasn't been raining, temperatures in the 80s. So here's the timing of the showers. Notice these showers die down with a lack of daytime heating, or as we cool down, but right back as we go into tomorrow. Likely some showers redeveloping during the morning hours, and then again during the afternoon with some daytime heating. So likely a couple waves of some scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms tomorrow, and pretty much the same deal on Friday as that upper air system moves on through. But notice the rainfall is going to be scattered. We're not talking about a huge area of heavy rainfall, so quite hit or miss. Now, as we go into the weekend, that system starts to slide more to our east, and we begin a slow drying process. Here's some good news. Rainfall potential over the next few days has been dropped a little bit. 1 to 2 inches of rain as opposed to, say, 3 to 5. Still could be some locally heavier amounts, but I think that's going to be very localized. So tomorrow, rather unsettled, a few scattered showers and thunderstorms around. Temperature is only in the low 80s for highs. Rain chances stay high on Friday. A few showers remain to Saturday. Less humid as we go into the early part of next week and drying out. Kevin and Donna.
Well, help is coming from people most affected by recent flooding in Arkansas.
Yeah, Governor Asa Hutchinson in studio. We'll talk to him and how you can make a donation and help our neighbors when we come back. Welcome back, everyone. We appreciate you joining us. As you can see, we're joined now by Governor Asa Hutchinson. I know you're busy, but thank you for being here. We are in uncharted territory as an entire state as it pertains to this flooding. In terms of the damage assessment, where do we stand?
My hope is by the end of this week we will have sufficient damage assessments so I can actually make the request to the President for a federal support. So we're getting close on that, and as the crest stops or moves down the river, then we're going back and we're starting the damage assessment. We've already started in Fort Smith, Van Buren area, and we'll be moving down. So I expect to be able to make that request later this week.
You've had a chance to view pretty much the entire state where there's flooding, most recently Pine Bluff. What are your thoughts? 500 homes in Pine Bluff affected by this flooding.
Well, it impacts everybody. Whenever you look at the fact that there's some very nice homes, but then there's low-income areas as well. And there's the ones that struggle, and thank goodness the Red Cross sets up a shelter because they're dislocated, many of them, and they're going to be dislocated for some time. And so this is what we need to support the Red Cross, but also when the community comes together, is what I saw down in Pine Bluff. That really helps encourage everyone, neighbor helping neighbor, and whether it's moving out or whether it's having to do sandbags.
Right.
And that's what I see all across the state.
Wow, it's difficult to watch on TV. I'm sure it's even more difficult to see up close and personal. But you at home can do your part to help out our neighbors by calling the number on your screen, 501-340-4922. Governor, as always, we appreciate your help, your support, and everything that you're doing to help in this time of need.
Thanks for hosting this.
Yeah.
Yes, and thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Keep calling us. We'll be right back. Proud to say we have raised over $27,000 for flood relief victims. We thank you so much, but it's not over yet. Our telethon is still ongoing. Call the number on the screen.
And make the phones ring, and then make the bells ring. It's that simple. We'll continue this, of course, online as well. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye, everybody.